Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to MLG Top 10 Countdown of the best games involving EU players in MLG history. We've already gone through 10 through 6. Coming up next, it's number 5, and it's story time. So take a seat, invite your family to the fire. This was exactly a year ago, actually. Now that I think about it, it's going to be a game from the MVP Invitational. If you guys don't remember this tournament, it was last year, 2012. It was MLG Pros versus the Pro League guys. The first time that we're seeing these Pro League players, these Kespa players, play against the best from around the world. And this kind of situation led to the beginning of a rivalry. And the rivalry I'm talking about is Naniwa versus Jaedong. I know you know exactly what I'm talking about if you watched DreamHack last week. If you watch any DreamHack, Naniwa and Jaedong, there is a rivalry brewing. And I had to dig deep into the archives to find this, but I found the first ever game between Naniwa and Jaedong from the MVP Invitational, and it was a treat to cast and watch. Let's relive it right now. Of course, we're going to go back. I'm going to shoot it over to me from the past. So, Axel Toss from the past, take it away, man. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
And welcome back to day 1 of the MLG versus Pro League Invitational. If you're just now joining us, that's not too bad. You only missed one match, but you missed Bisu versus Huck. Of course, my name is Axel Toss. I'm joined by Axlav.
Yep.
Hope you're enjoying the matches so far. If you are, feel free to tweet at us at Axlav and at ISAxlav. Did I get that right?
Yep,
ISAxlav. Awesome. But next up, we got a pretty cool match, in my opinion. It's going to be Jaedong versus Naniwa.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we already talked a little bit about these guys in intro. Jaedong, of course, Broodwar legend. Naniwa, you know, the highest ranking non-Korean in the GSL for over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just get to the game.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this unfolds. I mean, there's so many stories behind both these two players. We got, of course, in the bottom left-hand location, the red Protoss player, Naniwa. He's currently teamless right now. He might be, I feel like he's probably looking for one. I mean, you never want to be solo too long. Well, and there's some players who make it work.
Yeah, I mean, Crank was out there for a little while. MC was out there for
Team
a little while.
Axiom.
Yeah.
Can we give a shout-out to that team? Let's be honest. You know what their tag is, right?
No, actually, I do not.
AX.
Okay, yeah, well, definitely gonna give.
Yes!
Yeah.
Axel and Axel Toss, Team Axiom. Oh yeah, sorry. But yeah, Axe Crank. I'm not biased or anything, but he's awesome. Anyway, we got introduced to guy in the top right. He's the Brood War legend, of course, the Zerg player, Jaedong. We'll see what he can do here. I mean, when you're talking about these Brood War players, when you talk about the really big ones, it's not like they've been blowing people away. And I think Jaedong is one of those really big players who hasn't necessarily popped everyone's eyeballs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the things with the really big name Brood War players in the most recent season of Pro League,
there's Brood War.
What happened is, they had Brood War, and then they had StarCraft 2 intermingled in the Pro League. So the guys who are really good at Brood War, they're like, don't play SC2. Stick with Brood War because you guys are really good at it, and we want to get those points in Brood War. And then the B-teamers, the lesser-known guys in those Pro League teams, they were the guys, they're like, well, you know what, we're not going to play in Brood War, let's be honest. So let's have you guys just practice StarCraft 2 and get a jump in that. And so that's why I think we're seeing these players like Rain and Hero off the bat being so strong in StarCraft 2, whereas guys like Jaedong might be, you know, they have a little bit less experience with it just because they devote a lot more time to Brood War. But we'll see how quickly he's catching up, and we're going to see.
It's scary, man. Yeah. It's scary to think that. Like, these really big Brood War players haven't necessarily been attributing a lot of their time to StarCraft 2, but guess what? Now they can.
Now.
So look out. Of course, then Heart of the Storm is going to come out. We'll see what happens there. But let's talk about these opening builds thus far. We see a relatively standard 14 pool there from Jaedong, adding on the hatchery soon after. It looks like Naniwa opening up with the Forge first and then adding on the Nexus.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, pretty standard play for both players. What happened is Naniwa, of course, got on the top left first, and so we got that Forge because he wasn't sure if there was an early pull coming down. Just very safe standard play. Nothing too crazy going on quite yet.
Okay.
And Entombed Valley is going to be a really fun map to watch. A ZVP on. I mean, there's so much that can happen here. You see some Zergs use a lot of drop plays, some rush up straight to Hive. And I actually feel this is a map that Naniwa has a strong advantage on. Not only because traditionally people say it is a good map for Protoss, but also because it's a late game map. And Jaedong has such strong mechanics that he'll be naturally good at the early and mid game. But as the late game comes along, there's all these new units that he has to control really, really well that he's not used to using. The Infestors, the Brood Lords are totally new units for him. They don't come from Brood War.
Sure.
So, you know, on a map like Entombed, where the emphasis is on those 2 units, we'll see, you know, how practiced and how perfected is his use of those units.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested to see how fast Naniwa takes the third. I mean, I know there are some build orders where you literally get your third, you get your first gateway over here at your natural, and then you get your second, third, and fourth to wall off this ramp, and you take that third really, really fast.
Yeah.
You can do that on this map. I mean, you got a ramp leading up to your main and main to your natural.
You can, but it does have a high element of risk. Because even on this map, if you try to put it down too early, your opponent just if your opponent made 14 Zerglings anticipating that, of course those Zerglings can get up that ramp before you even start the gateways because you have to get that pylon up first.
It's happened to me before.
And then if you're banking on getting that wall and then you have to cancel and you have all this money, it just slows down your build a bit. So it really depends on if you think your opponent's going to get Zerglings early or not, because of course once you get that wall up, there's really not much a Zerg can do up until their attack.
Ooh, it looks like we're going to see a Stargate from Naniwa. Is this a Mothership rush?
Could be. Very, very, very unlikely, though.
I don't think Jaedong's seen a Mothership rush before, though, actually.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know what's an interesting story is, so I was practicing, this was back when I was at Team EG in the house, I was practicing on the European server.
Does this involve Huck?
No, it doesn't. But it does involve a Mothership rush. So this was back when Zelnaga Caverns was in the map pool, and I did a 1-base Mothership rush on a Zerg. And after winning that game, I got promoted to Grandmasters League on Europe. So that's the way to do it. I mean, it works in all the leagues. You throw it in every once in a while.
If you want to get promoted, if you're having trouble getting promoted, make a Mothership, guys. And
exactly.
It might increase your chances. And if it doesn't, tweet at Axlab, tell him he's a liar. Just kidding.
Some percent of the time it works all the time, at least in my case.
I love it. All right, so Naniwa has a Void Ray about halfway complete here. And has Jaedong scouted this? Like, the positioning of that Stargate is really good. I mean, how is an Overlord really going to scout that?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way, at least not without sacrificing its life. So yeah, it's definitely, at least, you know, the initial units are definitely going to catch him off guard. In fact, that one Overlord just barely.
24 HP.
I thought that was going to die for a second. That Stalker had his...
Now, the Stalker could run around and try to kill it still, but I think we're losing that opportunity.
Yeah.
Looks like another Overlord coming in here from Jaedong, really trying to find out what the heck Naniwa is doing. Come to that main mineral line. So close, he's going to see it. Oh, is he going to see it? Yep, he does end up seeing the Stargate, so knows exactly what's going on. And he has a layer about halfway done, so he can...
And now the Stargate's revealed, this Void is just going to hunt down and finish off that
Overlord, yeah.
That Overlord is limping around, put it out of its misery.
He actually stole that kill from the Stalker, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the Stalker, the assist.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. They should have stats like that at the end of matches in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, you know, the kill number should be an assist number too.
Yes, and you have like a list of units, and you have your MVP units.
Yeah.
And then in the next game, they get to start out sooner. I don't know. It's actually a terrible idea now that I think about it. All right,
sound like Warcraft here.
Coming across the map with the Void Ray and 2 Phoenixes. Well, let's see how prepared Jaedong is for it. How many queens does he have here?
He's got a Spore in every base, so yeah, I think he's... I mean, he may lose an Overlord or 2 if they 1 or 2 far out. Nano may be able to delay the creep spread, but not too much damage here.
Yeah, I mean, is the purpose of this just to try to get his third up safely, perhaps?
It's a way to get a safe third while also having some impact on the Zerg.
Right, because you get him to make those spores, and every time you make a spore, you're killing a drone, essentially.
Yeah, killing a drone and paying the cost of another drone.
It's barbaric, now that I think about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, even though he didn't get any kills, there's a 4 spore going up now, so it's basically, you know, 4 drones down and 200 minerals. So it's definitely doing some damage even without doing any damage, and it also can help control roaches walk around the map. You can play pretty greedy behind it. Seeing some more kills here already.
Maybe it prevents your opponent from wanting to go mutas, because there's already Stargates.
Yeah,
and of course, no Protoss players like seeing mutas.
No, I mean, anytime you can narrow the options of your opponent and put them on, you know, a more limited range of builds, that's perfect.
And you can do an earlier transition into carriers.
Yeah.
I'm opening Stargate every game now. I've just decided that. All right, looks like Naniwa taking down these roaches. Some roaches here in the middle of the map. The third did get up, and there's a cannon behind it. Some sentries desperately trying to connect to their homeland by taking down those rocks as fast as possible. Jaedong, let's look at the income tab really quick. I'm curious. 70 to 59, and he's adding on 10 additional, so he's going to get up to 80 drones. And wow, Jaedong actually losing a lot of roaches in the middle of the map here.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's just trying
Look
to
at that units lost.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to keep the air units out, or maybe as soon as he realized Nano was taking a third, he's like, you know what, I don't want roaches anyway. They're not very good in late game. Let's just
Okay, well that's a good point.
let's just send them out in the middle and see how long they last.
It's kind of mean, man.
Yeah, it is pretty.
Don't let the roach know you said that, because he'll be a sad roach.
Jaedong's definitely a barbaric person. I mean, he's sacrificing drones to build spores, sending roaches out to their deaths. He does not care for all his units, really. I mean, there's definitely an element of willingness to sacrifice in his play.
Which you have to have if you play Zerg, I
Oh,
think.
definitely. I mean,
at least Atro would probably say that.
Zerg is definitely the swarm race.
Absolutely. All about the cost-efficient trades and whatnot.
And you know, they're all like a hive mind, too. So
Yeah.
it's not like you're actually killing a thinking organism. It's just
I don't know how all that works, though.
Yeah.
Maybe one day you can explain that to me. But Naniwa getting up to 3 bases pretty comfortably. Already going up to Hive is Jaedong. I think the Spire's almost done too. So he wants to go to Broodlords relatively soon, adding on those Infestors. So really wants to go for that that composition of the Broodlord, Broodlord Infestor that's really strong.
Yeah, and this I think is the way to play. If your opponent takes the third base and you know they're not doing a fake third, you can see they're producing probes. You want to go the Hive as soon as possible. And there's nothing wrong with not building units for a few minutes here, because if a opponent takes a third base, there's no push they can do really before the 14-15 minute mark that you couldn't respond to by just slamming down a bunch of Zerglings.
Or Corruptors if they're Colossi.
Exactly. Well, I mean, a 3-base Colossi push will generally come late enough that you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like on this map, since it's so easy to take a really early third, maybe that Colossus push can come a little bit sooner, and I feel like that's one of the main builds you can use to try to really abuse a fast Broodlord player. But we see Jaedong, the Greatest Spire is already about 20% of the way done. Naniwa just finishing up that Thermal Lance upgrade, producing those Colossi. Probably going to start thinking about taking a fourth. And, you know, has he scouted this is happening? Because I feel like a Fleet Beacon should come down relatively soon, considering he's got to start preparing for those Broodlords, and a lot of people would say you got to have a Mothership for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's two main approaches. One is, like I said, the Mothership, and the other is to just build up for this giant Doom 3-base push. It usually hits between 15 and 60 minute marks. Judging by the amount of warp gates Nano has and the fact he hasn't thrown that Fleet Beacon, I think he's definitely going to just throw a massive push out our way pretty soon. He's even getting a Warp Prism here to reinforce that push. Typically 3 Colossi is the number they move out of, but he only has 2, so he might just be trying to push out.
But Broodlords are going to be done by the time that push comes.
They'll definitely be done, and that's just the way these 3-base Colossi pushes work. Is if you can kill the rest of the army and there's only a few Broodlords, you can just blink under them and finish them off.
All right, well, we'll have to see how good Jaedong's control is, because I feel like that's what it pretty much comes down to. You know, camping behind your Spinecrawler wall, throwing down those Fungals, and making sure those Broodlords stay absolutely safe. So we see Naniwa pushing across the field here. Link counterattack here from Jaedong. Oh, all the Broodlord players do this. It's so amazing. Yeah. Right when their opponent moves out, they counterattack immediately. Nexus canceled, and Naniwa, is he going to back away to deal with this?
I mean, backing away to Stern, just run away. The damage is already done. He might as well commit to his attack. And there's that Fleet Beacon going down.
Oh, yeah.
So he's definitely plans on ending that Mothership in at some point, but he wants to do some good damage before that. He's moving out here. He's got his main army. Why don't you stand out the main army over by this 4th base, and I'll actually check out this Warp Prism coming right into the natural here. Okay. Spore Crawler is shooting at it. He's warping in. A good Zell warping. Is it going to get in? Oh, no, it's canceled. Great defense by Jaedong there.
Engagement into that 4th base there, and
looked like that failed pretty miserably too, so.
Yeah, and Jaedong has kind of a flank set up here at the bottom.
It's definitely 2 wins for Jaedong's count right there.
Yeah. Naniwa unable to get much done at all, and now he's going to back up. He doesn't have a 4th down either. That's a pretty big issue here. That's something you definitely want. But he does have that Mothership on the way. So if he can get a really good engagement, then I think it's going to be fine. But let's see how well Jaedong can control this, because I feel like he's gonna continue adding on Corruptors, adding on Broodlords, adding on those Infestors,
I mean, that's
and try to kill his opponent. Yeah.
I like how he's bringing Queens with this too. Those Transfuses can come into play. Oh, Fungal.
Oh, blink underneath those Broodlords, trying to target those down. Are any Transfuses able to get down? Not fast enough. The Stalkers one-shotting those Broodlords. Fungal's going down onto the Stalkers, though. And Naniwa actually with a pretty darn good engagement there. Jaedong is going to back away. I want to look at the units lost really quick. Nearly 8,000 to 5,000 there in favor of Naniwa. So all of a sudden, Jaedong is on the run. Where his Broodlords all died, and he's got to remake them now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. If you let those Stalkers blink under, unless you have that massive Broodlord count, you know, they can fall down really quickly, which is one reason why a lot of Zerg just play so passively up until they get those double-digit numbers.
Wow. Wow, and again, Naniwa just now able to get that 4th base down. The question is, will that actually complete? Because it hasn't worked thus far here from Naniwa. His main army doesn't look incredibly strong. I mean, there's 1 Colossus here and probably about 15 or 16 Stalkers.
Yeah.
But Jaedong, I mean, he doesn't have a lot either. It looks like some drones going to try to transfer over to that base at the upper left, and we do have a War Prism moving into the main base here of Jaedong. He's going to warp in DTs. DTs are done. You want to capture this with your camera, and I'll watch this main army over here? All right, so hopefully we can get the picture-in-picture going there, because it's a lot of fun to play with. And we have the rocks getting taken out there by Naniwa as we see the DTs going into the main. Hopefully we'll try to get that in. There it is. Oh, it's so beautiful. The Stalker's blinking into this base at the top left here, taking down a bunch of drones and targeting down this hatchery. Meanwhile, looks like the Zealot's trying to find stuff to kill, and Jaedong going to try to engage into this army, throwing down a lot of fungals. Broodlord's coming forward as well, but does Jaedong have enough to take this out while his main is getting dismantled, trying to send some Lings back to deal with that? And Naniwa only warping in Zealots over there. I'm a little bit curious he hasn't tried to warp in DTs.
Looks like he got the Greater Spire. He's going for that secondary Spire as well here.
All right, and Naniwa's army is trapped over on the left-hand side. Actually, they're going to try to blink underneath here, these Broodlords, and going to try to target fire those down, taking down a couple. But Jaedong up 170 to 113 supply. He's actually doing, I think he's doing a phenomenal job here.
Yeah, I mean, Nano really destroyed Jaedong's tech, but at the end of it, I mean, what did he lose to do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so many different Zealots have died, and it is just minerals, but it's a lot of minerals.
Spire got taken down too. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. Like, he was warping in unit after unit, invested so much into taking down that tech. And Jaedong still has a lot of Broodlords on the field. Let me look at the Infestors too. Let's do the unit stab. I think that'd be a fun.
I mean, Nano was down 50 food right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, killing the tech's nice, but only if you can follow it up with an attack.
To take advantage of the time.
Exactly. But right now, I mean, by the time Nano can even rebuild his army, Jaedong will rebuild his tech, and it will be is that Jaedong has a much bigger bank than Nano because of all those Zealot weapons that were, traded not very efficiently just by a mineral cost standpoint.
Did I see that correctly? Like, he didn't warp in DTs, did he?
No, it was just pure Zealots. I mean, the DTs wouldn't have done too much. There's a Spore Crawler in both bases, so Zealots are just as good.
That's actually pretty cool anticipation. I mean, Naniwa opened up with the Stargate, so he can kind of know his opponent probably has Spore Crawlers ready and waiting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of like that decision to go for Zealots, but again, Jaedong doing a great job fending that off. But Naniwa able to get that 4th base on the ground, going to be trying to rebuild that Death Ball, has a Mothership completed. Again, if you're just now joining us, this is game 1 of a best of 2. I don't even know what to call it. Like
2-game series.
2-game series, perfect. I love it. You're so good at what you do, Axlab. These are just the seeding rounds.
Yeah.
Every single player plays everyone, and of course they all play 2 games, and then it's added to your win-loss. Top 8 at the end get to go to the playoffs. So Naniwa has this Mothership here, adding on Archons, High Templar, and Stalkers, sending a War Prism to the top side of the map here. And it looks
he's actually got 2. There's one
Uh-oh.
over on the right
Are we
side
gonna
that's
have to
actually
triple-
just fallen over here.
Oh gosh, this is going to be tricky. All right, well, the Corruptor's going to take this one out, so that's going to make our job a little bit easier. Zealot's going to take down that base at the top side. There's some DTs mixed in as well. Jaedong does not want to lose these Infestors. These are so valuable, so important units. Going to burrow those immediately and try to get out of there. But it looks like he does have an Overseer here, so he should be able to clean up this army without too much more trouble. But Naniwa doing a great job denying this additional base.
Yeah, I mean, Jaedong's been really trying to take that 5th base, and this is about the 3rd time it's been canceled. I mean, he's been doing a good job with these Warp Prisms, but Jaedong's, I mean, 3 of these 4 Warp Prisms have died without doing anything, because Jaedong's just so on top of them with Corruptors patrolling the map.
Uh-oh. We have another big warp in here. 3
there's the DTs.
Yeah, there they are. They're going to target down that Spore immediately, but there is an Overseer here, so Jaedong going to hastily return his units. Actually, I love this because Jaedong's unit composition isn't very mobile. I mean, the Broodlords are trying to run back over here to deal with this. The Corruptor's taking down that Warp Prism, and finally some Lings. Oh, they stopped. They stopped over here. I thought they were going to come
some Marines cleaning it up. They're pretty good.
Yeah, just throw down those infested Terrans. No big deal. So yeah, Jaedong's still doing a great job fending this off, but Naniwa looks like he's positioning himself to try to do some aggression towards the heart of Jaedong.
Yeah, I mean, he's really got his giant ground-based army, but I mean, how many Broodlords does Jaedong have?
Let's look. 12? Did he have any morphing? Okay, just has 12.
Yeah, just 12.
That's a lot, though.
Yeah, 12's at the point where it's very hard to beat it without getting a good vortex off. I mean, if you have a lot of blink flanks and a lot of storms, you can do it. But really, Nano is going to look for this massive vortex to really throw the battle in his favor.
Looks like Jaedong doing what Jaedong does so well, trying to go for those counterattacks, except suiciding them into the middle of the map, and we'll have to see what these Lings end up doing. Looks like this base might be vulnerable if he takes down the rocks. I love how he has a DT here to kind of block that off.
He's got more DTs behind that 5th yet again. He's just really, really pounding that 5th base.
Wow, yeah. I think that's a great goal for anyone. Just keep denying that base, keep denying that additional gas income, and just keep trying to play cost efficient while at the same time building up your main army, taking additional bases of your own, and looking for that moment where you can truly crush your Zerg opponent. But I feel like Jaedong had a bit of a lead earlier on in this game, and Naniwa has been able to come back by utilizing War Prisms, utilizing DT Harass and Zealot Harass.
And there that 5th goes down. What was really nice there is Nana moved his army up towards Jaedong's natural, so Jaedong had to pull his army back.
Yeah.
That's when Nana was sitting that War Prism, and it's still lurking there at the top, ready to strike again at any moment.
Oh my gosh, well, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. And what does Jaedong do from here? I mean, he has to secure this base. Like, he has to secure a 5th, because as this game goes along, as Naniwa keeps expanding and taking more bases, if Jaedong can't get his economy on par or ahead of his opponent, it's going to start getting tough. However, he's getting that scary death ball out of the infestors.
There's some spine cores crawling up right there to try to secure that position.
Perfect. Oh, that's perfect. That's a very good decision there from Jaedong. But yeah, this kind of an army, like, you can be so cost efficient with it, it's ridiculous. So it's not like Jaedong would be out of it if he can't get a base up, but
yeah.
You know, obviously it's something. It's something
really,
you want.
he really needs the gases from that base. I mean, he has so many minerals.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe even spend more minerals on spine cores would be helping him. But he really needs that gas to keep up his Broodlords and Fasters and his upgrade count.
Oh my gosh, that base gets denied again. Naniwa has a focal point in this game, and it's that additional hatchery taking it down. And at this point, Naniwa has money to throw away. Like, he has a huge bank, 3K, 2K. He's willing to just save 11 supply and use that 11 supply exclusively on harassing his opponent.
And I mean, he's been about a base up on Jaedong for the past few minutes, so he can definitely afford to do things to try to keep Jaedong down to 4 bases.
So when does Naniwa try to engage? Does he just keep doing this forever?
I mean, he needs to find an opening. He can't go into that spine core wall and his Zerg army at the same time. There's really just no way to do it. As soon as Jaedong comes out, then he can try to look for these really good vortex opportunities.
Oh, Ling's running by there. Stalker's going to blink forward. Jaedong doesn't. I don't think he minds too much about that supply. Adding on 5 infestors right away.
That's a better form of supply. Trade some Zergians for infestors.
Hey, you see, you keep being mean to those Zerg units. Don't let those Lings tell you.
I'm being nice to infestors.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Naniwa coming forward to his opponent's side of the map. Ooh, some Archons getting fungled there. Naniwa overextending just a bit. The Mothership coming forward. The Vortex going down onto the Corruptors. Needs to get those Archons in there as soon as possible. But again, Corruptors can kind of run away in time. They're not as slow as those Broodlords. So we'll have to see how much damage this actually does for Naniwa. And Jaedong even splitting up all of his units here. But Naniwa still has enough energy on that Mothership for another Vortex.
When all those Archons get fungled down, they're going to be locked down. Those Brooders are going to have a play day with them.
Yeah, they're going to die incredibly fast. I feel like the key utility... Oh, we do have another drop in the top left. Of course, Naniwa has been doing this all game. Why not again? But let's look at the main base, or I should say the middle of the map, the main engagement. Vortex going down, trapping some more Corruptors here. And blinking forward his Stalkers underneath these Broodlords, trying to target fire them down. It's a little bit hard to tell what's happening. There's so many units on the map here. And the Broodlords slowly falling away. Naniwa with some great target firing, and these Infestors trying to fungal, but they're running out of energy. I
mean, Jaedong's been doing a great job of forcing those Vortexes away from the Broodlords by diving the Corruptors at that Mothership. But I mean, at the same time, Nano was like, you know what, I don't even need the Vortex. I'm just going to blink under those Broodlords. And, you know, Jaedong's Broodlord count has been a little bit low this game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's, you know, a part of that is the inability to get those additional gases. I mean, I feel like his main gas is about to be expired. You got to get those... Those additional gases are so important in late game ZVP. Your entire main composition is so gas intensive. Infestors, Corruptors, Broodlords. Look at the money for Jaedong right now, 2,000. So Jaedong really trying to secure those gases, but Naniwa again going after this hatchery so much. And Jaedong is like, screw it, all right, we're done. I'm putting down 20 spine crawlers. Get out of here, Naniwa. You're not touching this base.
20 spine crawlers are sporing.
Let's make a bet. Does this hatchery die?
I don't think so. Not anymore. There's no way.
We should make a competition or something. I think you're right. I don't think it's gonna die, but I feel like Naniwa is like he has this like sole priority in this game is just to continue denying this hatchery. He's just gonna do it to try to spite his opponent. But yeah, I mean, you can tweet at us. Tell us tell us if the hatchery's gonna die. Tweet at AxelToss or ISAxlab. I think it's gonna die. Axlab says it's not going to.
I don't think it's gonna.
All right, we'll see.
I'm betting against. I will bet dinner that it's not gonna die.
Dinner?
Yeah.
You're on. Let's shake.
All right.
All right. I'm hungry too. This is gonna be good. All right, Jaedong, do not build any more spines around that base.
There's another 3 going down already. Kind of around the corner, but this may end up
Oh, it died.
It didn't. No, that's a different base.
Okay, you're right. That's good.
That doesn't count.
All right, Naniwa taking down that base. He's gonna pick up these zealots and then drop them at this base soon.
What Nano was trying to do is he's just trying to buy time to get his second mothership out.
Sure.
Yeah, because the Corruptors did eventually kill that first one. While he blinked his Stalkers under the Broodlords, the Vortex came out and there was nothing underneath to protect the mothership. So it did fall down eventually. And you really can't engage Zerg without that late game Vortex.
All right, and we see Jaedong continuing to try to go for that harassment with Zerglings, just sending them over here to the left-hand side of the map. Naniwa continuing with this aggression, dropping some zealots at this hatchery at the left-hand side. Is it gonna die? And it does.
Ooh, that was a close one right there.
That was really close. So Naniwa taking down
trying
hatcheries.
to counter, but Naniwa's zealot. A couple of them slipping through. Those are Zerglings on dives.
Yeah, we'll go look at that in a second.
Yeah.
But Naniwa wants to engage this main army over here. And oh my god, it looks like Naniwa should have. Look at his supply of 164 to 123. Jaedong is completely out of units. All the Broodlords are falling. Only a few Infestors remain. Jaedong making 24 Lings. The counterattack, let's just go peek at that really quick. It looks like it is getting cleaned up. Naniwa gonna back away for now though. But Jaedong, again, none of these Infestors have energy.
Yeah, and he lost a good number of Infestors there, and he lost a couple of Broodlords.
Yeah.
Whereas Naniwa lost mostly Stalkers, which are, I mean, he has the bank to replace.
That's a trade he's willing to make.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's see what happens here. Mothership still chilling in the middle of the map. Uh-oh. Axlab, look.
It's coming. We'll see.
There's so many spines,
We'll
man. More than 10 DTs. All right, here it is. Oh my god. Target down the hatchery. Target down the hatchery. Come on, get the hatchery. Naniwa trying to get the hatchery. Warping in so many zealots and DTs. My dinner's on the line. Let's go the hatchery. It's 200 HP. Whatever. Yes! Yes! Yes!
There you go, man. He was relentless with that.
Victory!
He was totally relentless with that.
Victory. Oh, that's great. Sorry. Axel, are you upset?
No. It was fair. I mean, I really thought it wasn't going to die. I thought it was a good bet. Apparently, I was wrong. Naniwa must have looked into the future and known I would bet that way.
Oh, that was awesome. But Naniwa's up 174 to 105 supply at this point in time. He's going to come to the middle of the map here again, focusing on denying these additional expansions. I mean, it's funny and all, but that was like the 7th time he denied that hatchery. Like, Naniwa doing a great job denying those additional bases from his opponent, and I feel like that's why he has such a big lead in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's Jaedong's just been unable to replace his army because there's just not really much gas going for him.
Yeah. Got 3 more Archons being made. So many Archons on the field here for Naniwa. Going up to 8. 8 Archons, so many Stalkers, still some High Templars in there as well. And Jaedong just going to throw down the GG. And, you know, you're at that point where you just can't get those initial bases.
Yeah.
He was down on Infestors, down on Broodlords. And, you know, what can you really do at that point as Zerg?
I mean, the one thing I've seen some Zergs do, Scholar and Stephano known for this.
And there it is, the first ever game between Naniwa and Jaedong. Naniwa able to take down Jaedong in that game, sparking the awesomeness of a rivalry that continues to thrive to this day. Pretty fun game there. That was number 5 in our countdown of the top 10 games from the EU folks in MLG history. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's going to be number 4. And it involves some awesomeness. I'm not going to spoil anything, but stay tuned.